Welcome back to the USTA. Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows, Queens, New York. What a sight on a beautiful day for tennis. Warmer than it's been. It's expected to get up in the mid-80s today. In the chair, honor for the Frenchwoman Sandra Davydenko.
Roger Federer, 2 sets. Ready?
And the world's best will open play.
Davydenko likes to hug that baseline. He'll take some chances. He does not hold back. He's very quick, so he positions himself well. He does not come into the net often. He's not as comfortable, but if he can be aggressive like he's been these first couple pairs, play a high percentage type of tennis while being aggressive. In other words, controlled aggression, not to go for outright winners. Just play some good depth, play within himself. He could make a run at Roger.
Good start, huh, John?
He needs a good start. Those are the type of shots, to me, he has to guard against. I mean, he looked a little weary against Murray at points in that match, did win it convincingly in the fourth. Haas, there was certainly a physical struggle out there. He's got so many miles under his belt. This, we talked about, he plays every week, he's playing next week, and he just does not stop.
77th match of the year for him. 30 all. Federer seeking a booking in tomorrow's men's final as he goes for 3 Grand Slam titles in this calendar year.
It's also hard to peak for the big events if you're playing every week. That's why you see a guy like Roger take a month off and Nadal to try to maximize their chances at the events where you have to play best of 5.
Yevgeny Kafelnikov used to play that much as well. That Russian played in singles and doubles. Just preferred it. Roger Federer against Nikolai Davydenko. This was the first major of the year, the Australian Open, and for 2 sets, Davydenko hit shots like that and gave Federer all that he could handle. But in the end, Federer came good, went on to win the Australian Open again. And their head-to-head is obviously a commanding lead for Roger Federer.
That was early in the year. See, Davydenko was chomping at the bit then, a lot fresher mentally than he is now. And it's going to be hard for him to fight the fact that he's happy to be here. And he's going to have to play the best he's ever played to beat Federer.
This equals Davydenko's best Grand Slam performance. He made it to the last 4 a year ago at the French Open.
He talks and admits that he feels his best surface is clay. That's why they're playing the Davis Cup indoors in Moscow on clay for him when they play the U.S. in a couple weeks. So he'll go to Beijing, play a hardcourt tournament. He'll probably go to Wimbledon to get an exhibition and play on grass because he has a day off, I think. And he's dumped 6 straight points since winning the first 2.
Russian team, Davydenko, Tursunov, Yuzhny, who will play Roddick in the second semi, and Safin. Americans counter with Roddick, Blake, the Bryan brothers. Indoors on clay. Interesting choice. And you feel that's because of Davydenko's prowess on that surface? Because a lot of those guys are good hardcore players.
As well as the fact that it's the weakest surface, obviously, for Roddick and Blake. They've not had much success at the French or on the red clay.
The other is you can groom that clay as slowly as you want to.
Davydenko said there'll be a lot of bad bounces.
Out on the practice courts, Andy Roddick and his new mentor, James Scott Connors, going through their strategy as they'll battle Mikhail Yuzny, the Russian, in the second semi. The four men who have advanced to the semifinals are almost the same age. There's only 15 months that separate them. These two men are 25, 2 months apart. And in the second match, Yuzny and Roddick just 24. Apparently in the prime of their tennis careers. There's that nasty little slice return.
Well, he's played Davydenko 7 times. He knows that he's not very comfortable at net, so he'll hit that shot fairly often, and that's why Davydenko went for the winner.
Early break point, Federer. A champion's let cord. And he has the break.
He certainly respects Federer's speed, so that previous point he went for too big a shot. This one here he should have ripped. Instead, he tried to angle that off, and that was poorly done. And he's given Roger Federer the break. He's the only guy I know on the tour that he volleys with 2 hands on the backhand side.
That first set is a telling tale for Roger Federer, as is with most players, but the numbers are startling. When he wins the first set of a slam, he's 101-4. If he loses, 9-17. And he's jumped in front here against Davydenko. Confirmation of what a great front runner he is.
He's got the bigger serve. He's going to win more points off that. That's another obstacle for Davydenko.
He's only lost his serve 5 times in this tournament. He's been 75% effective at the net, but his opponents have played the net more than he has.
Caught the line. Federer didn't think so. He's going to challenge.
Yep, here comes the first challenge. Super Saturday.
On the right far side line.
We've got this bar in front of us. A little difficult to see. See if Roger. Ball was just missed. Federer 1 for 1.
Keeps that challenge, each with
40-50.
It's nice to get a round of applause when you question a call.
You didn't receive that warm reception when you did it?
Timing is everything.
14-30.
How about the thought 24-25, the prime of a
I think that's just about
career?
right. Absolutely. Agassi's proved you could play some great tennis later on. I think he's inspired a lot of the veterans, but certainly from 20 or so to 26 or 7 should be the prime years.
Federer secures the break. He leads 3-love. We'll be back after this word from your local station. And welcome back to Arthur Ashe Stadium Court here at the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. Davydenko down love 3 against the top player in the world, dominating Roger Federer, chewing away at Pete Sampras's lead in Grand Slam total titles. He has 8, 6 behind Sampras.
Davydenko looking negative out there already, shaking the head. A lot of energy so far from him. better get his act together quick, because this looks like a very fast first set we have in the making.
Light breeze at the moment. Yesterday it started much the same manner, but we had some difficult gusts that arrived in mid-afternoon, affected play.
He's a totally anonymous top 10 player, Davydenko. He's been as high as 5, I believe, and he's a very low-key guy, pretty shy guy. This is his chance to really find the spotlight. It doesn't look like he wants it a whole lot so far.
Terrific win in the quarters against Tommy Haas from 2 sets down. Really dug in deep to beat a fine player in Haas. Federer's key support, girlfriend Mirka, who's also the business manager of their tennis affairs.
Won a couple rounds here. At the Open, was a player.
Also in the Federer box, Anna Wintour, Vogue magazine editor.
She was at the NASDAQ 100 in Miami earlier this year as well. Tennis follower.
Isn't she the lady they made the movie after? Meryl Streep. Be careful if it is. She is. Devil Wears Prada. That was pretty rough, I tell you. Means business. Davydenko can hold here. He can get himself back in the set, perhaps. It's one break. Big difference in being down 4-love.
So Davydenko serves out of a love 30 hold and has his first game. CBS Sportsline is the only place to watch daily match previews. Get exclusive insights from Patrick McEnroe. You click on tennis at cbssportsline.com. Filling rapidly, Arthur Ashe Stadium. Opening set, first semifinal match, Federer 3-1. His first ace.
Federer has sacrificed serving and volleying with less pace and now stays back almost exclusively and hits it harder.
And as Mary pointed out yesterday, a sign of the times in men's tennis. So few want to come forward.
The thing is, Dick, I mean, he has the tools to come in a lot more. Federer. And we see it from him more on grass at Wimbledon, but he doesn't even need to serve and volley at Wimbledon to win the title. It's sort of a pity, though, because you know he can. He's so good at it.
He served and volleyed about 15% of the time on the first serve, and even less on the second. I mean, he's not come in a whole lot. Still's won 4 in a row.
Yeah, it doesn't have to.
Should have challenged that. He would have won the point.
That's a shot tracker, and Davydenko with an excellent return.
Well, I think the only thing that would get Rogers serving and volleying is if he actually faced an opponent who made him, who served and volleyed himself. I think it's just a great pity, and that's some return from Davydenko. It's a pity he never played more than just one time against Pete Sampras. Had those two faced off, Federer would have, I think, been forced to volley more. It would have been fun to watch. He's so solid off the ground. He's so solid from everywhere.
Roger Federer with a one break lead at 4-1 opening set. Hope you'll be with us for our second semi, and then tonight at 8 o'clock the women's final under the lights. Maria Sharapova and Justine M. Arden.
Both Davydenko in that previous game. Let's make Mikhail use it, get a little practice in.
I'll get back to you. Okay, 1 second. Thanks.
He's used that autograph right hand a lot during these 2 weeks in New York.
Federer cut that return off so nicely the way Davydenko did the previous game, and that is the key when your opponent's trying to slice a ball away from you. Davydenko's going to be forced to go for more on his serve.
There's that defense of Federer. And the defense from the champion's end prevails.
It is just so difficult to get a ball by him. You see, he stops, gets himself back in position. He knows Davydenko's not going to come in, so he can afford to float that a little bit more. And he waits, gets himself back into position, takes the offense, and Davydenko hits it long.
You can see in that exchange how much harder Davydenko had to work. Federer seems so effortless.
He's missed a couple of easy balls. This could cost him a second break. And he's just not.
He's flat, isn't he? He's on a 10-match win streak. He won the tournament before the U.S. Open in New Haven. And again, he went 5 against Tommy Haas, and mentally, it had to take something out of him being down 2 sets. Well, that seems to have caught up with him.
Well, Haas had played 2 consecutive 7-6 to the 5th, so he wasn't exactly fresh. So he's playing a better player who's not as physically taxed and is mentally tougher than his opponent, and he's more tired, Davydenko.
Monday, Dave's all new with Martha Stewart, plus music from Justin Timberlake. And later this week, don't miss Ashton Kutcher, Johnny Knoxville, The Rock, and a special top 10 with NASCAR drivers. Hold on, Dave.
Federer, on the other hand, can come in and put away volleys. He's adept at net. That's another edge he's got. Davydenko's pressed in a couple of these approach shots because he's not really confident up there. Federer, you know, can do it all. His first set is 20 minutes old. It's about to be over.
Yeah, he's already got it in his pocket.
Davydenko's girlfriend and his brother, who's 11 years older, he lives with his brother in Germany and trains there. I was going to say he lives there, but obviously he doesn't live anywhere but on the road.
Not a whole lot.
Tax home in Monte Carlo.
Don't worry, they were like that in the 5th set against Haas. Don't get too excited over there, especially his brother.
Well, you watch as many matches as they have to watch.
They're pillows. They got their bags with them.
Brother Edward is older by 11 years. Couple more set points. Girlfriend is Tatiana Arena Vecina. And an easy opening set for Roger Federer, breezing 6-1. Lackluster first set for Nikolai Davydenko. Let's see if he can awaken his game. Set 2 underway. I mean, the pressure immediately on everyone who takes the court with Roger Federer. You've got to play at your very best to compete. Anything below that, and you're in the shower room in a hurry.
Davydenko's energy level is so low. And that's the part that's disappointing. I mean, we didn't expect him to go out and beat Federer. He's 0-7. He's playing in his first semi here. He's obviously fatigued, but he's just sort of shrugging his shoulders right now.
He's won 3 of the last 17 points.
he's not giving off to Federer, that he's going to dig down, at least so far.
That caught the sideline for the first ace for Davydenko.
That's what he needs to do more of. I mean, the first set he had a high percentage. It didn't get the job done. He's got to go for more in his serve. Get some easy points.
Another good serve.
Forget about spinning it in. Start cracking it.
He's serving at 90% for the match, and he's already been broken twice. So,
well, but
Federer's delivering a message there.
He's just spinning it in. Now he's hit these last two. He's won 2 straight points.
Easily Federer came up for that.
That's good though.
But
he respects Davydenko's speed, which is why he didn't hit a drop shot back. Decided to play a safe shot. Davydenko with a nice top spin lob. He needs his first game. Get something going here. Make a match of this.
And another big serve from Davydenko, and he does have the opening game of the second set. Coming up Thursdays on CBS, Academy Award nominee James Woods redefines the courtroom drama in the most anticipated new show of the season, Shark. Premieres Thursday, September 21st after CSI on CBS, America's most watched network. Boy, that makes Thursdays a gangbuster evening, doesn't it? You get Shark and CSI Thursdays on CBS.
Davydenko's last serve, hardest of the match at 127. I think he's getting the idea. It'd be nice to win a few easy points. Federer is also serving well so far in this match.
Yeah, he's surrendered only 6 points on his serve.
Davydenko, in addition to his obvious problems, doesn't seem to have his legs under him quite yet. He normally moves better out there, a little sluggish.
Holds it low, 1-all.
That game took about 45 seconds.
Stars are out to watch the afternoon action. More tonight. Christine, the wife of Ben Stiller. Davydenko's personality is just basically laconic, so the fact that he just kind of moseys up to the service line is not unusual, but as you pointed out, John, nice to see him show a little more fire here. Saturday Night Live alum and big star Chevy Chase. He's usually here, isn't he?
Loves the tennis. That's the shot Federer's going to keep giving Davydenko until he starts doing something better than that. I mean, he's really not done well with that short backhand return. It's either overhit, dumped it in the net. It's like he doesn't want to volley.
On the backhand, and it jammed Davydenko.
It's also the depth. It's got a lot of spin, so it's jumping off the court. It's just inside the baseline. It is a very tough shot to handle. Federer's thanked players the last 3-4 years for going to his backhand early in his career, which was certainly and still is the weaker shot, but it's certainly not a liability anymore. It's gotten way better and more consistent. It's not as good as that forehand, which is probably the best shot in the game.
Andre Agassi rated it the best forehand that he played against.
Davydenko has made a nice adjustment here, stepping it up on the serve. It's going to save him if he's going to have any hope of winning this.
CBS Sports coverage of the United States Open continues after this word from your local station. And welcome back to Arthur Ashe Stadium. Roger Federer, easy capture of the opening set. They're on serve in the second of this men's semifinal. Final to be played at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon Eastern Time after NFL football.
Davydenko is showing some signs of life out there now. It's the best point he played the match. He's made a nice adjustment on his serve, and now he's starting to find the range and looking to put some type of pressure on Rogers.
Federer has lost only one set in the championship 2 weeks. That was to James Blake. Tie break.
He showed some signs of vulnerability. He couldn't serve out the first set, couldn't serve it out the match. He was up a couple sets, and almost James got from a 2-break down in the fourth, had a couple break point chances.
Even though he has not shown his best tennis so far at the U.S. Open, Federer is still hitting twice as many winners as unforced errors. And he can hit them from everywhere.
Such accuracy. Miss there, 30 all, but you don't see many of those from Federer's racket. He early on has shown this big audience at Arthur Ashe and his opponent that he has the total arsenal.
Davydenko starting to flatten out his ball, get more pace on it, getting closer in towards the baseline, and this is a chance for him. Second serve at 30 all. If he can make a move here. Quick, but he's not that fast. Just didn't do enough at the initial return and allowed Roger again to dictate play during this point. You see where that ball bounces? I mean, it is awfully tough to hit a winner from there. There's spin on it. It is right inside the baseline once again.
Twice now he's wedged the serve into the top of the net. I don't know why
people think that's so funny.
He always gets a laugh, though. Like the announcement that there's a license plate number and the car's locked and the motor's running. And that always gets me. Two all. A little package on the 25-year-old world #1. He's got the backhand. How about the forehand? Return of service, not too bad.
Couple aces.
How well, when you see a man of such enormous talent, comparing him with Tiger Woods, and we see that often now, how quickly does he process information as the match begins? Is he also outstanding at that? Does he have that kind of computer?
Without a doubt. I mean, that's the greats do that. I mean, it just spits out the right solution. You know, he's got 2 or 3 options. It may all work. That's the scary part.
It's rare that you don't see him make the requisite adjustments. His match in the final of the French Open against Nadal was like the lone exception. He just, you kept waiting for him to do something different. After winning that first set, he just sort of went away.
It's one of the few times you really saw him play into his opponent's hands. It was as if the heat, to me, it was very hot that day. It's like he couldn't think. He played a clay court style of play against the best clay court in the world.
And many feel he's the second best clay court player, but he has not captured the French Open. That's the one jewel, the Grand Slam crown that is not on his mantle.
That's the shot that he better find an answer for, because Federer's going to keep feeding it to him.
Processed that quickly, didn't he? Here are the men who have won in the Open era 3 of least 3 Grand Slam titles in a year. Laver, who won all 4.
It's Connors and Federer who have not. And Connors couldn't win the French, and Roger hasn't yet won the French. Wielander missed Wimbledon the year he won the others. Got to the quarters.
Connors did win the U.S. Open on clay, though, one year. They had that 3-year run where it was played on clay. Jimmy did win it, so he's won majors on all 4 different surfaces. And in the year he won the 3, he couldn't play. They wouldn't let him play at the French. He's playing team tennis. They wouldn't let him play. This is pretty outrageous now that you think about it. Some guy by the name of Borg won his first of 6 French Opens.
He has to continue to offer resistance, Davydenko, on his own serve. He's got to stay close with Federer, which he couldn't do in the first set. And he's taking his time, and he's playing these service games a lot better.
Well, he runs the risk, obviously. His first serve percentage is so high, but by going for more, he's not going to get as many in. But I think he needs to keep doing that. He's gotten into the 130s now, trying to get some easy points. Shots are magnificent. You hear him grunting a little bit, he's, stepping it up a little bit here, looking to get this break.
Just takes some quick little steps and then torques around even more than normal to find an even bigger forehand.
Davydenko, you could hear the energy he was exerting in that rally.
This point right here could cost Davydenko the second set.
So Roger Federer up a set, up a break here, the semifinals of the United States Open. Roger Federer jumps in to a set and a break lead, serves 3-2 here in the second. At 25 already with 40 tour titles, 8 of those slams. You brought up the name of Bjorn Borg earlier, John McEnroe, and just to remind fans of how brilliant Borg was, to his 25th birthday, he had 59 titles, 19 more than Federer, and more slams, 10. At such a young age.
And he'd only win one more, though. You get the feeling that Roger Federer's going to win more than just one more major.
Yeah, don't you?
Took over that point. And it's rare that you see a fist pump, a fist raise like that from Federer, but it was brilliant, and Davydenko's got to smile this off because he thought he was creating tough shots for Federer, but Federer's still able to come up from defense to offense one more time. This was a 90-mile-an-hour winner.
He's too tired
to finish the fourth.
He said, timeout, I need more rest.
Took the 8 count.
25-shot rally decided by Federer with just brilliant defense and offense.
It's a smart move by Federer, though, right there to just bring Davydenko in again. To his credit, he scurried forward and hit a better shot. He's got to get well positioned and not make mistakes there. Make Roger hit a passing shot. There he missed one. Davydenko has been playing considerably better in this second set. He's still down a break, but he's played well this game. And he's fought back from what appeared to be a bleak situation after losing that long point. He's got a little run here, a chance.
U.S. Open shot tracker, that was not a challenge, showing that the ball did bite the line.
This game right here is why you watch Davydenko, why he's in the top 10.
Great point for Davydenko. His first.
He's stepped it up here, and he's moving well, and he's hitting the ball clean. I think Roger's surprised that Davydenko's been able to hang in this game. It's caught him off guard.
By Davydenko, 3-all.
It's an incredible game from him. Federer pumped the fist, was sure he was going to hold here, and Davydenko comes back big time. I mean, this would have been really bleak to get down 2 sets to Federer, and he's got a shot here now, back in the 3rd set. He knows Federer had a tough time finishing Blake off in a few of those sets. He's showing some real mental toughness here for the first time. He's really in this.
Juniors underway, and the Canadian Polanski has defeated Donald Young from Atlanta, and another American goes down, Albanese to Pacek. Those were in the semifinals, the girls and boys tournament. Suddenly Davydenko getting points in bunches.
He's not lost a single point since that long extended rally that Federer hit that great winner.
6 in a row.
So he stepped it up, though. That's for sure.
7 straight points for the Russian, who has never beaten a #1 ranked player. 0 for 9.
It's nice to see him make that tactical adjustment, though. He realized after that first set went away so quickly, he had to play bigger against the big guy. And now we'll watch to see how Federer reacts to this. Ridiculous return. Oh, man.
And when he saw this kick coming, he stepped in. He figured, look, I might as well go for it. I'm down 40-love. And it worked. It looked rather beautiful, no doubt. Davydenko still in a position to finally take a lead.
Federer does etch some interesting angles. But Davydenko playing his best tennis. The round serve in the second. Federer leads by a set. Second set, semifinals on Super Saturday. Roger Federer, heavy favorite, #1 in the world, up a set, serving at 3-4. Nikolai Davydenko, 25, born and raised in the Ukraine, moved to join his brother in Germany at age 15, speaks fluent German.
Showed you how fast he is there just to get that ball back. Federer glides in, cuts the ball off, gets himself back on track. And it's a nice effort from Davydenko, but to no avail.
Squash a shot saved by Davydenko. Extends the point only one more shot.
Davydenko speaks his mind as well in a couple of languages. Before he faced Andy Murray, he spoke about the one hardcourt loss that Federer took this summer to Murray. And he said, look, after Federer won the tournament in Canada, he heard Mirka, Federer's girlfriend, saying Roger wasn't going to go the next week to Cincinnati. He said everybody knew that Federer should have withdrawn from Cincinnati because then he was trying to play Federer back-to-back Masters Series tournaments, which means for a guy as good as Federer, he'd have had to win 12 matches in 13 days. So that he just didn't feel like Roger wanted to win that match against Murray, and I watched that match and felt the same way. Just less an indictment on Federer than on the schedule he's asked to keep. Federer is so good that you can tell, when he's having an off day, it looks so weird. Well, he's not working to capacity, and it's impolite to say it, perhaps, and impolitic to say it about Roger Federer, but it's dishonest to say otherwise.
That was a chance for Davydenko. He has not done well with that transition game, which has cost him. And there, would have given him break point. Could have served for the set. He's playing well, but...
Except up there.
Except that area of the court. And then he loses the game because he's still thinking about it.
4-all. Just to follow up on your point, Mary Carrillo, we talked about Davydenko and how busy he's been. His schedule is full, more matches than anyone on Tour 77 in second place. Federer 74.
with far fewer tournaments played. And Roger does right. I'm a big fan of how Roger schedules himself. You know, he takes a month off after Wimbledon every year. And it's a long clay court season followed by the grass court season. And he's got to my mind, he's got to take breaks.
For in-depth real-time match breakdowns, including 3D graphics, IBM Point Tracker is available on usopen.org.
If they talked about making a 64 event, maybe 56, giving him that first-round bye, give him a couple days, that's a good start. He obviously is going to get to the finals of most events or close to it. And they, you know, when you run the risk of scheduling 2 in a row, I mean, I was in Rome when he played Nadal. They went 7-6 in the 5th, which they're going to eliminate the best of 5. Both guys pulled out.
The next week, they both pulled out of Hamburg, yes. And even Roger said after he lost to Murray in Cincinnati, again, his only hard court loss this summer, he said, my expectations here were only to go a few rounds.
Well, he won his first round. It's not a lot of guys that would go out and beaten him anyway. Murray has, I think, shown what he's capable of.
But remember the summer where Andre Agassi in '95 won 4 of the summer hardcourt tournaments, got to the final here, and just didn't have enough left to play Sampras and beat him. It's the hardest surface on your body by far, this one. Just beats you up. It's tough on your muscles. It's tough on your bones. You're playing in the heat of the U.S. summer. And the thing about Roger Federer is everyone knows how great he is on grass. His record is sparkling on hard as well.
He's won 18 in a row on this surface, U.S. Open.
Having said that, I doubt he went out and threw the match. You know, maybe mentally he wasn't there, you know, the way he normally is. Probably had a little bit more time than he wanted. A couple weeks. He had just taken a month off. I think his point is well taken because they're going to end up changing the schedule. Davydenko stepped it up there. You know, hit the big serve, and it's just Federer is just incredible. You know, that's defense. You know, just getting the ball back. Look where it bounces, right inside the line. You know, that's how he's had so much success against Roddick when he's hit those big serves.
That was big, 130 for Davydenko.
It's a great serve. All of a sudden, he's down break point. He hasn't lost a break point yet, Federer. He's 3 for 3 so far.
This point is all but for a 2-set lead.
Well, Davydenko's played him enough to know that he's going to hit shots like that. So the good part was he was ready for it. He's got Federer on the full run. He says, okay, I know he's going to come up with something special. Yep, sure enough. But he's quick enough to get himself in position. That was a huge ball for him.
And he comes back with a 129-mile-an-hour serve down the middle.
Davydenko's gone to plan B, and it's working nicely.
Caught the line. CBS Sports coverage of the U.S. Open continues after this word from your local station. So the 7th seed, Nikolai Davydenko, is managed to break back on Federer after losing his game at 2-all. And now it's Federer serving to stay in the second set, leading by a set. Very easy opener, 6-1. Talked about Federer's success on hard court. This year, he's 40-2.
time to get some new balls out. That's a little bit small. Going to fly a little bit more, a little tougher to control. Davydenko, a chance to make a real match of this here. Pulled the second set out. Federer couldn't serve out the first set against Blake and found himself down a couple set points. And if James had won that first set, it could have been a different ending to that story. And this is a similar situation to me. If Davydenko could somehow win this set, he may actually have a chance to come back. If he'd lose it, you'd have to feel Roger would prevail in straights. It's going to be tough enough even if he to win the set, but odds would go up considerably.
Love, it's 5-all.
Federer does not go for too big a shot. Hits it right back to Davydenko, but he's in a good position to hold easily. Trying not to give Davydenko any room to breathe here. Keep the pressure on his serve.
Almost at full capacity now at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Roddick and Yuzny in the second semifinal.
Good idea to use a little extra spin off the ground. Davydenko's flat ball flew on him there.
It's that same play.
You know what's coming. Davydenko's he's so hesitant about moving in.
A run by Federer here, trying to break and then serve for the two-set lead.
Davydenko doesn't enjoy getting back that slice, getting down low and carving it out.
Sounded as if Federer might have gotten a little nick of the ball, so no ace.
Federer has shown signs of vulnerability. And, this tournament hasn't played as well as we've seen in the past. Tightened up a few times against Blake, and you can see he's feeling it here. He was cruising and setting to break up.
Here's a break point, however.
Yeah, that doesn't mean his level's gonna dip a whole lot. Especially his forehand. I mean, that's the last thing that will go. Davydenko running a big risk there.
20 unforced errors now by Davydenko. Only 11 Federer. And there's the break. Roger Federer will serve for a two-set advantage when we return to New York. Roger Federer, leading by a set, had an early break in this second set, but Davydenko able to break back. Now it's 6-5, and with that ace, Federer 3 points from the two-set lead. Second ace for Roger.
You certainly don't think he's going to make the same mistake twice. New serve again. That's what you really dislike as a player to do. Throw the ace down and then follow it up with a double fault. Lose that momentum.
His first double. Two-time reigning champion. He seeks his 9th total Grand Slam title.
Amazing how often Davydenko switches rackets in the middle of games. Well, hit the miss it like that, break the string. You need to change. It changes even when he doesn't break strings. That shot again. He doesn't handle it on the forehand side either. He's been miserable with that transition play.
2 set points.
But he had a chance a couple games ago at 30-all. He had a shot like that to get a break point and maybe serve this set out. And now 2 sets are gone.
70 minutes. Federer by 2 sets. Davydenko down 2 sets to Roger Federer. Will serve to open the 3rd set. I mentioned that Roger Federer has the outstanding hard court record, and even better when he's up 2 sets. He closes the deal 22-0. Young and old in this sellout crowd. Championship has had a little taste of everything. Trying to offer our impressions sometime later today. Here's to be Grandma explaining the finer points of the game. And a love hold for Davydenko. Good start here in the 3rd.
Yeah, he really needed that, that's for sure. There's a couple easy games against this guy, Roger Federer.
Now, 2 years ago, he beat Leighton Hewitt in the final, and they were included in that 2 love sets against Hewitt, and then last year, his final match against Andre Agassi.
That's about as excited as we've seen him in collecting these 8 Grand Slam titles.
It's so different, his reactions when he wins here in New York. It's more of a New York reaction. At Wimbledon, he cries.
Did it Australia this year as well.
Yeah, well, he started to cry when his idol Rod Laver handed him the trophy. That's what got to him. Just the history, the import, and the weight of his accomplishment.
Had a chance to sit next to Rod Laver at the Davis Cup, the U.S. against Romania out in La Jolla, California earlier, and
that's
talked
a good seat,
about
isn't
that.
it?
Pretty nice seat next to Laver. It was empty, and all of a sudden this man sits next to me. And I asked him about that, and Laver said, you know, what goes around does come around, because when I received the trophy, I cried too, because Don Budge was the man who presented it to me, and it was overwhelming in the same manner. Nice return.
Roger's got such a great appreciation of the history of our sport. And the older players respect that. And he just loves being around the game, the courts, Roger. He's made himself so available for press and
charity.
Yep.
1-1. Thursday, the new Survivor you've heard so much about will finally be here. Don't miss the premiere of Survivor Cook Islands. Thursday, 8, 7 Central on CBS, America's most watched network.
But he's the type of guy, if you put a little package like we do in a match like this together of his shots, he wants to come in and see it. And you still, you forget the guy's 25, but he's a kid in the way that he just
can't get enough to eat.
He's like a kid in a candy store. He just loves it. Obviously, Roger aware of the fact that the finals is tomorrow, so he wants to get through this. He doesn't want to expend any more energy than he has to. Look at this, step it up here. Finish this in 3 sets. Give him more time, more legs for tomorrow's final.
Andy Roddick has had the advantage of playing his quarterfinal on Wednesday night, so he has had considerable rest before today's semi. He'll go second against Yuzny, the other Russian in the Final Four.
Because of the rain, Rogers backlogged a bit, and he's played more this week than the other 2 semifinalists, or more matches. So certainly wants to get off this court as soon as possible. He's only been out there 1 hour and 18 minutes. He's already 2 sets up. And there's an example where Davydenko, for how hard it will be for him to take a next step, because he had a short ball, and instead of taking it and moving in behind it, he just let Federer back in the point, and it was Federer who eventually dictated play and gets himself 2 chances to break. It's on the line.
Another mishit, and Davydenko down 2 sets, and now Federer jumps in front in the third at 2-1. Roger Federer 2 sets up, and now a break in the third, 2-1. Players waiting until some of the fans find their seat location.
So nice there. He held that backhand, waited for Davydenko to make his move. The scary part is he guessed right. Still couldn't track it down.
If you're an Andy Roddick or a Mikhail Yuzny fan, you should be rooting for Nikolai Davydenko, as they would like to see Davydenko at least extend this match, push Federer and wear him out a little bit.
It's going to be tough right now. Odds are really stacked against Davydenko. And this is when your mind starts reminding you how tired you are, how much tennis you've played, what you're up against. It's going to be hard for Davydenko to make a run now.
Having trouble getting a ball in play in this game.
He's got so many more options, Federer, than his opponent.
College football next Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS. A day-night doubleheader. LSU and Auburn, and then in prime time, Florida and Tennessee. It all begins at 3 Eastern. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman on the TIAA Creft College Football Today, right here on CBS, home of Super Bowl 41. Commemorative garden, Arthur Ashe honoring him out in the plaza. 1-5 at the U.S. Open. Murat Safin, the most successful Russian here at United States Open, winning the 2000 title.
Sharapova trying to win it tonight. And then there's Justine Ardern.
Federer at times like this, it looks like he just wants to work on other parts of his game.
In the semis of a major.
Yeah, which is pretty frightening.
Yeah,
I think I'd come up and serve him volleys.
Let's see how the volley's doing. Not as well as I'd like, so I'll set it up a little better next time.
Here he comes again. Oh, 2 in a row.
And here's another thing that you don't often see him do. It's something that I talk about, what he should do more often against a Nadal, for example. But
he's taking volley practice, though, on the Super Saturday. There's something wrong about that.
Think he'll come forward again, John?
Probably just to, right the ship in this game. If he gets a second serve, show he can do it. He wants to save that short run for a bigger point.
That's been automatic.
Davydenko has been 3 of 11 at net. And I'm trying to remember the 3 that he won. It's not been good up there.
Federer 3 times in that game at the net, and it was Davydenko winning all 3 points. Welcome back to men's semifinal on this Super Saturday, and world's best player Roger Federer serving with a 2-set and a break lead has quieted this sellout crowd and just sitting back, almost a theater audience reaction now to watch someone of such enormous talent. Not much drama left.
Davydenko, I tried to bring him to net. He looked a little shaky up there the last game. I think you see Roger make sure he hits a big approach shot before he moves in. Get back on track. Like maybe he was a little bored, so he tried something different, but he's lost his concentration here. And this is a chance for Davydenko to get back in the set and try to make him run. He did that in the second. Let's see if he can do it here.
Wouldn't miss that volley.
This setup, the volley, obviously Davydenko wasn't able to do enough with it. He's got that racket nicely in front of him. Firm shot there.
Oh, a couple of break points for the 25-year-old Ukrainian.
It's happened to Roger 3-4 different times against Blake, and it seems to be happening here again. He just loses his edge for a couple of games.
Calls on a 123-mile-an-hour serve down the middle. Davydenko had a chance to capitalize, get back to 3-all here. He's got it. So Federer broken for the second time in the match.
As soon as he hits this American twist serve where he tries to spin it away from Davydenko, Davydenko does exactly the right thing. Steps in, takes it earlier. And that's his best shot, that backhand. And does a good job. Find a way back in this set.
Federer exchanging rackets. Usually a precursor to a new ball change. Game away.
A couple of loose games allowed Davydenko some belief. Here's the 4 guys left. Roddick and Jusny up next.
And the 3 semifinalists, only one of them, Roddick, has had 1 win over Federer. Rafa Nadal losing to the Russian Jusny, who will play Roddick next.
I would have to rate as one of the biggest surprises of the championship.
And Nadal didn't serve well, which is what he did so well to get to the semis, to get to the final of Wimbledon. And that just put pressure on the rest of his game. It was a bit of a surprise, but Jusny is so solid. Very strong guy. He played a very fine match to take out Nadal.
That's the man that Andy Roddick will be facing in the second semi, Mikhail Jusny.
Jusny went after Nadal's forehand, his strength. This is a good game plan often against someone they're not expecting it. Nadal wasn't. So Roddick should be careful that he doesn't, because he may go after Roddick's forehand, open the court up. Here's a loose game from Davydenko now after breaking. He's down 15-40.
Skids off the service line. Federer takes a long look.
It looked like it was in.
13-14.
U.S. Open shot tracker says it caught a piece of the line.
Skidded off that line. 1 break point saved. See there, he goes back to that shot.
You were right. When he needed the point, just slice that short backhand cross court. Roger Federer underlining his position as #1 in the world. He's held that ranking for well more than a year now. And should he win, he's 2 games away and reach the finals. It'll be 6 consecutive Grand Slam finals. No man has done that in the Open era. Federer has been #1 for 136 consecutive weeks.
People forget that Danny Roddick finished 2003 as the #1 ranked player of the year-end rankings. 2 the following year, 3 last year. So he's looking to get himself back in the mix. Next up, Federer's been at the top since. And you can't give a guy this good this many chances.
That's coming up. Andy Roddick, who's moved up to #6 in the world with his performance here, will bring his big serve and forehand against Mikhail Jusny, a solid all-around player. He's had some injury problems, a bad back that was misdiagnosed. They thought it was a knee because the pain had expressed itself in the knee, and finally realized that it was out of sorts in the back. He's taken some heavy treatment, finally got back in playing shape middle of this year, and is showing all the talent that he expressed earlier in his tennis life. And Although Davydenko not much of a match for Federer, who's now checking the line and maybe challenging.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Federer is challenging the in-call on the left service line.
That serve looked like it was in, but Federer's acting as if it wasn't. Davydenko's going for the big one. That was right on the line.
The call stands.
Maybe he's surprised you could hit that bad a return.
Federer had been 2 of 2 in challenges.
Davydenko aware of the fact that there's the crew.
Gail Bradshaw is the replay official, challenge official.
That Federer had trouble finishing Blake off, so he's got to hold here, make Federer serve it out. Good depth there.
That one caught the line. Federer serves for the finals of this U.S. Open when we return. With workmanlike efficiency, Roger Federer on this Super Saturday has moved to a game where he can serve for the finals and is 3 points away. Nikolai Davydenko started slowly, lost the opening set 6-1, battled in the second, but it was Federer 7-5, and now Federer serves for the match and the finals. Only dents in Federer's performance today. Davydenko did break him a couple of times.
Well, I often played when there was noise like this. Obviously, some weather conditions forcing the planes to go over. Roger looked up like, planes go overhead here sometimes? It's a lot quieter than it used to be. He's 2 points from the finals again. With that one.
Punctuating his performance with ace number 4.
That's been his best shot, and if for Roddick, not to look ahead or anything, but if he's able to pull off a shot like that, that very shot which he's working on with Connors, that would give him hope.
And now the third match point. And again, Davydenko steps in on that kick serve and drills the winner, erasing 3 match points.
Couldn't serve it out against Blake in the third, and eventually lost that in the tiebreaker. He was up 2 breaks against Blake in the fourth. Lost one, which almost lost the second. Davydenko still alive. type of exchange he likes with that huge forehand. Davydenko unable to stay with him. Now, if he gets to a second serve, I'd really be surprised if he kicked it up to Davydenko's backhand again.
Fourth match point.
Slice it up the middle. There it is.
Yeah, if we're handicapping a thoroughbred race, the notes next to Federer would be much the best. 6-1, 7-5, 6-4. He's in another Grand Slam final. 1 hour, 43-minute exercise. So the first booking into the final, and as expected, the name Roger Federer will be there tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Now, will it be the fellow Russian of Nikolai Davydenko, Mikhail Yuzny, or will it feature the American Andy Roddick? That semifinal match is next. No man in the Open era 6 straight Grand Slam finals. But Federer just keeps erasing and adding his name.
Yeah, well, as usual, signs of brilliance, slight signs of tension, so that would give one of these two at least some hope in the finals as Federer tries to win his third in a row.
Who matches up better?
Well, Roddick's got the bigger game, you know, the bigger serve, so I would say Andy.
Let's go down to Mary Jo Fernandez.
Thanks, Dick. Congratulations, Roger. How important was it you to get out there that quick start in that first set?
Well, always nice. It gives you kind of a relief, you know, that you held your first service game and broke his, and it gives you a little advantage, and you can play more free from the beginning, whereas he's still looking for his rhythm. So I took good care of that, and I played a great first set, and I thought I played really well today.
Second and third sets a little closer. He raised the level of his game. Where do you think the turning point came?
After that great point I played, I was...
You lost that game, though.
I won the point. That's more important. No, but he all of a sudden played extremely well, and yeah, got tough. He's a good player. You know, he's not for nothing in the semis, and I think we'll see much more of him.
Roger, you're in your third consecutive U.S. Open final, your sixth Grand Slam final row, first man to ever do that. Can you appreciate your consistency the last few years on the tour?
Well, I think the hard work's paying off, and I enjoy, being in the biggest stage in the final moments. You know, like again in the finals, it's fantastic for me. It's just great, to be in all 4 majors in the same year.
Well, tomorrow, quick turnaround to the final. Thoughts on either playing Andy Roddick or Mikhail Yuzny?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Either one, even though I have great records against both of them. But that, I think, in the finals, it all doesn't matter anymore. I hope, of course, I can play another great match and win or defend my title once again. We'll see what happens after get some rest now and maybe watch the boys battle it out.
All right, Roger, congratulations. Back up to you, Dick.
Yeah, he knows this report card. He's 10-1 against Roddick and 7-0 against Mikhail Yuzny. And you saw that graphic, 8-1 in career Grand Slam finals. If you're wondering which one didn't he win, that, of course, was this year at Roland Garros when Rafael Nadal beat him in the finals of the French Open. But he's through to the U.S. Open finals, goes for the trifecta.
The other thing that when you ask who had a better chance, obviously Roddick with this crowd behind him would, need a lot more support, which would help his chances.
This is one of the features here that the player winning a match at Arthur Ashe Stadium is able to deliver a souvenir, 3 of them, to the crowd. Most of the players enjoy the idea and the opportunity of trying to nail one in the upper deck, which Federer certainly does with relative ease. So Roger Federer has made 3 fans smile all the more. He certainly has taken the smiles away from the opposition. Straight sets again. Federer through. CBS Sports coverage of the U.S. Open continues after this message and a word from your local station.